What round they rise and fine ass?
You're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail. And I'm the one who ain't got no training partner. I don't think so. You seem to have it all figured out when you're playing midget.
Damn it! 60 G's, baby!
Dust of Shakedown begins right now.
What's happening, Fight We Show fans, Fight We Show people? Them we are back with another episode, man. Episode 54. We're rocking it up. And we're back with some of my best co-hosts, people them trying to break this thing down. It's been a big weekend. Magden is back from UFC304. Yao is expecting UFC 116. He's all racking up right now, man. And this is a great time to talk combat sports. Big up to everybody that's watching us right now. Salute to you. Magden, how you doing, my bro?
I'm good, boys. I'm good. Even better with 50 quid in my pocket, son. 50 quid in my pocket. You know what I mean? This man, people, this man bet against Tom Aspinall, against Curtis Blades. And I told him months ago, I said, nah, son, it's not going to happen. I said £50 on the line and a handwritten apology. So I'm waiting on my handwritten apology, son. Have you got it? Have you got your notebook? Have you got it? I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Sorry for wasting your time. I'm sorry for talking bad about your boy. I'm sorry for saying that he's going to end up on his back. I'm sorry that Curtis is going to end up hurting him with elbows because none of it came to fruition, son. 1 minute, less time than it took for that injury to kick in that first fight that you sat on for so long thinking you were the best man going. You know what I mean? Suck it, son. Where's your boy now? Ola? Come on. You know what I mean? Tommy Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall. Na. I got 50 quid in my pocket. Where's me apology, son? Where's my apology, son?
Can you guys just see what the hell's going on here, man? You know, it's gonna be a mad stream tonight. You can tell the energy, what the brother's on. But before we get to all of that, right? Yo, it's been a mad weekend still. It's been a lively weekend. You couldn't join us for the watch along, but how was your weekend, brother? And how you doing this week, my bro?
My weekend was absolutely amazing. Had family in town, busy with a lot of family business. I had a good weekend. I was actually in the middle of a family event at 5 a.m. watching the fight. On the way driving at 5 a.m., I was watching the Aspinall win. And I mean, that was an absolutely phenomenal win. I mean, he did it so fast. Like, unfortunately, you got to take the slack on this one, Ola. Like, you have been riding on that injury for a while, and he did it in less time, or I think it's about the same amount of time that he got injured. Like, I mean, it's absolutely insane. So
less. He got injured in 1
I
minute
had a good
15.
weekend.
He done this in 1 minute. So just a little bit of insider info. No. You ain't even got a hold on. You ain't even got a hold on. You ain't got a word.
Look what's going on here. What's with the pilot? I'm just.
Let me cook.
I'm
Let me
just a radio
cook,
guy,
brother.
I'm just the interviewer
Yeah.
man. I'm just a radio guy, man. Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
God.
But
so
anyways,
so
you know
the
what?
fight started.
Now
The
we've heard
fight
about
started. I
Yao's weekend
started.
because he didn't really want to tell us about the weekend. He was the pilot as well. You know what I mean? He was the pilot as well. Tell me that I was staying on that injury as well. Before. Come on, bro. Oh my God.
Don't
Anyways,
make me pull
people,
more receipts.
before we get onto the main topic, yeah, I did shake hands on putting out the apology, and I'm sorry to Mr. Tom Aspinall. If you're watching this, I'm sorry that I doubted you against Curtis Blade. Although I've never doubted you against Jones, I always wanted you to see Jones, but against Curtis Blades, based on that injury there, I doubted you. But you put the clarity on man's face, and I'm sorry I doubted you. You're the 100% heavyweight champion of the UFC. Not even interim. I ain't even looking at you as interim no more. I'm looking at you as the undisputed heavyweight champion of this division. And I said, even going into the fight, the belt should have been made vacant. And if the belt had been made vacant going into this fight, he will be that guy. You know what I mean? And to me, in my eyes, it's made it very clear he is that guy. Mr. Tom Aspinall, I am sorry I doubted you. There you go.
And who else? Who else gets an apology for wasting whose time? Huh? What was that, Mr. Keep It Clean? I don't want to hear no swear words coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Well, that one slipped, didn't you, son? The character faded. The character faded.
Hey, listen, you ask for an apology. You got a nice apology, and you have to.
No. Tom got a nice apology. I never got a nice apology. I just got 50 notes.
Bro, you got half. Listen, you got.
Yeah,
half
you even tried to play it off with 30.
You got half of what I agreed with you, and now I'm delivering the other half of what I'm agreeing. What I agree with Tom. Come on. You know what I mean? You got everything right there, man. You know what I mean? I'm a man on my word, and when I say it's that, it's that, man. You know what I mean?
Went around it, but I'll accept it. There you go, Tom, mate. There's an apology.
I didn't go around it, man. That's a straight apology to Tom Aspinall, man. He is that guy. Combined 3 minutes? Combined 3 minutes in all of it. Like, that guy is crazy.
Can I see your betting slip? Can I see your betting slip? Did you have Curtis on your slip?
Come on, bro. What you you're not hot, Tom. Stop playing.
Know you didn't have Tom. Stop playing those games.
Come on, man. Hold on.
Big up, Rosie. What's happening?
Hold on. You see, you keep trying.
Do you have receipts there, Ola?
Yeah, bro. Come on, man. Even the last one, man. I showed him. I think I showed it live on air when we was doing the watch along. Yeah, man. Where is it?
I was too busy watching along in the arena, mate. I was absolutely buzzing. See, when I joined the stream and seen you three boys sitting there, I was so ecstatic. It was unbelievable. Right, so the fight started. Yeah, let's see the other one. So the fight started. We know he had more than one on people. We know he had. See, he had Tom.
Yeah, I told you I had Tom. I told you I had Tom, man. Come on. You know
Get in. So the fight started, and I started recording it on my phone because I was like, "This is going to be over quick, and I'm going to be sending this to Ola." So I started recording it, and 40 seconds
I'll be right back.
I was like, "I'll stop it there real quick," and then I started it again. And within the next 20 seconds, he had it done. I was like, "Yes, mate, get in." The whole place went mental. Like, obviously he's away, so I'll just shoot some stuff for a minute. But mate, like, between the 7 decisions, the whole place went pretty quiet. It was pretty chilled out. Like, we obviously had Mick Parkin with his big finish, which was buzzing. You know what I mean? The place was going nuts. And then we had a couple of slow fights in there. Sam Patterson obviously got the submission as well. Then we came up to the Mano Cap and Makayev fight, and it was just wasn't what we wanted out of the gate. The two of them were trying to go for each other, thinking it was all going to kick off, and then it was like that video that I put up on Twitter where the dogs are barking at each other through the gate and then did nothing once the gate was open. It was just like, come on. So then the whole arena, especially with the time as well, just went flat for the next 7 decisions that came in. But as soon as Paddy came out, then as soon as Tom came out, that place erupted, man.
Okay. Big up everybody in the chat. I see United. I see Nas OG. Big up yourself, Nas OG. I see Rosie. Salute to you, Leroy. Big up yourself, my bro. I mean, look. Hey, listen, the apology has been delivered like I said I would. You know what I mean? And let's get on to that first topic. Let's go to that first.
And fair play to him, people. Don't know if it's going to let it see it because of the ring light, but no, it's not coming up. Just to show you that he did deposit the money in my account, but it's not going to work. There we go. That's a bit better.
Oh yeah.
G's, baby, bro, 50 G's.
Listen, we always delete, bro. I ain't never made a bet and I lose the bet. I not pay out, man. Like, come on, bro. That's not what we do around here. When I lock hands on someone, when I shake hands, yeah, man, it's really that. You know what I mean? So,
when are you gonna learn to stop gambling with me, mate? That's 80 quid I've had out of you.
Yeah, that's what it is, though. That's what gambling is.
Where do you draw the line, bro? Like when we hit like 100 or 150, is that when you decide?
Bro,
yeah, I'm done?
I can't even remember how many times me and Will has gone back and forth on bets. in the last 10, 15 years, bro. Bets like this. It don't stop, bro. You know what I mean? As long as MMA
You never
exists,
learned your
man,
lesson.
as long as MMA exists, bro, I'll tell you one of the worst ones I did. Will probably tell you. I got drunk one day. I sat in the garden. I was chilling with my missus, yeah. Shout out to wifey. Chilling in the garden. And I got brave after I got drunk, talking about Arsenal was going to beat Man City, where Man City is beat us like 7, 8 straight times. Then I got brave and put £100 on it. And the missus heard that shit. The missus heard that shit. She was like, "Whoa, you're brave. You know what? I want some of that £100." I'm like, "What? You want £100 too? You get £100. So £200 bet on a match that we ain't won in the last 8, 9, 10 times. I don't know what happened, but yeah,
You lost 200 quid that day, yeah.
yeah. And they got their money too.
I bet the wifey came straight for that. Yeah,
bro, they weren't playing around, bro. They weren't playing around, man. They weren't playing around. But that's just me, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I do what I does. I do what I does, man. You know what I mean? Big up everybody in the chat. Salute to every single one of you. Big love. We are 11 minutes in. I did say I was going to leave 5 minutes for this apology, the cooking, all of it. We've got to 10 minutes. Are you happy, Magdalene? You happy for us to proceed? Yeah,
I might fire some more.
Without bringing this up ever again, bro.
Nah,
yeah?
mate.
I don't want to hear about this ever again, bro.
Why are you bringing up old stuff? I'm going to bring it up all the time, mate. Murphy was happening, bro.
He's been clipped, bro. You know what I mean? He's been clipped, man. You know what I mean? Go do what you want with it. I don't want to hear about it. Not one time. No more. This is done, dusted. I will find another bet. We'll find more bets, man, to talk about, man. You know what I mean? There'll be more side bets, man.
With Owen's haircut, he looks like the Wayne that McDane and Yao had. Me and Yao would make beautiful babies. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Aramzadeh. Yeah, people that know exactly what the fuck I just said. Yeah, all right, let's go.
Run that clip, son.
Let's go. Let's get to that clip. Let's get to that first clip. I love this fight here, right here. Hey, Leroy, big up yourself for all the work you done on these videos, man. Salute to you, my bro. Love every time.
Leroy.
Let's get it.
With a heavy focus on wrestling, Belal dominated Leon Edwards over 5 rounds to become the new welterweight champion. With punters and fellow fighters alike, most gave Belal little to no chance of succeeding.
Yeah, Leon's the man. He's grown so much as a champion. I think he's got better and better. I think you're going to see him be a dominant champ for a while.
And then I'm going to go with Leon. You know, Leon, headshot, you know, bang.
I think I'm not disrespecting either fight and all the fighters, but I would love to see Leon win TKO. Sorry, Belal.
Yeah, obviously I'm backing the fellow Englishman, goes without saying. I think Belal's got so much better since the first fight, but I think Leon was on his way to finishing him in that fight, and I think he gets a finish.
So for me, I think it's going to be a Leon Edwards 25-minute decision. I think he's going to dominate and just try calculatedly decipher and decode Belal's game.
I want to fight Sean like mother. I just asked you if you wanted to scrap. There literally is a cage right there. We'll do it. And he goes on Twitter, Sean's a white trash. Like, nah, dude. So, I think Edwards is going to put that man out.
Oh, man, I think it's going to be a tough night for Belal. Leon Edwards is good everywhere. Belal Muhammad, he's going to have to get the fight to the ground in order to win this fight.
I think Belal's a really cool guy, really nice guy, but I think Leon's just a better athlete and a better martial artist, Yeah, so probably put my money on Leon.
In the post-fight press conference, Dana expressed his disappointment in the event.
I think tonight showed that we should not. No. Upping them doesn't change anything. It doesn't make anybody fight any harder. It doesn't change anything. I'm not doing this again. Ever. Today was the last day that I'm doing that. Yeah. I'm not saying that in the future the bonuses couldn't get up, but I'm not going to be at a press conference and say 200, 300. Never again. Never again. So you can thank everybody on this card for that. Yeah. Nobody fought any harder. There was no sense of urgency. Holy shit, I want the 100,000. 7 straight. Who gives a? It's 7 o'clock in Vegas. So whatever. Yeah. Never again.
one X user highlighted a possible reason why the event did not meet the boss's expectations, stating, "Fighters at 4 a.m. not fighting at their best. Production at 4 a.m. not producing at their best." Leon Edwards' coach Dave Lavelle revealed injury troubles preventing Edwards' ability in offensive and defensive
Well,
wrestling.
believe it or not, we had a powwow about it. And I was very dubious because these niggles was going on for about maybe five or so weeks, on and off. He had to go to a chiropractor, regular massages. But again, after one session, it was back to square one. So in the back part of my mind, you know, I was thinking, well, should we go for this? But because he hadn't fought for so long, Leon said he wanted it, so we just pushed forward with the injury, trained through the injury, and tried to, you know, get through and get a victory.
What do you think? Does Leon deserve an immediate rematch? Who do you think Belal Muhammad should face next? Drop them in the comments below.
Oh my God, there is so much to unpack in that video. But let's take it step by step. You know, everybody came in. We saw all the fighters making their predictions. Belal didn't really get no love there at all. But we've all seen the way Belal had been winning and gone on his streaks, and eventually, you know, got to this point. But talk to me about that fight, seeing Belal lift the welterweight title after Leon made him wait for 2 years before getting back there and now getting the victory.
Apparently, it's 3 years, and
3 years. Okay.
I think Kevin Holland was my favorite there. Like, you know, I think Leon's just a better martial artist. Like, I just loved Kevin Holland there. But yes, everyone said Belal was not going to be able to do it. I didn't think he was going to be able to do it. I just didn't see how he would be able to do it. So for him to have done it, impressive, and in the way he did it, very impressive. And like he said, he doesn't want to give Leon a rematch because with such a dominant win, go back down, fight someone else, come back, let's see. And I guess I kind of agree, but what a win for Belal Muhammad. And the other thing that was astonishing about his win was the amount of support that he got in the UK after his win. The streets were lined with supporters, which you wouldn't have expected because it's not his home ground. He's not from the UK. He's from Miami. So that was phenomenal. But coming out of Leon's camp, all I hear is excuses, to be honest with you. And like I said in the previous DUSD, anyone who says that the time is an issue is making excuses and is lining themselves up to make excuses exactly as they are making now, because then everyone on the card can have the exact same complaint if they lost. It makes no sense at all. You chose to take the fight, then don't take the fight in the UK. Say, no, I'll fight at 305 where I'll fight in Vegas and I'll have to fly out and deal with jet lag. Sure, if that's the problem you want to deal with. So for me, I'm just hearing excuses, niggles in his back. Come on, we had, I think it was Drickus, he fought with no nose for 3 years. Give me a break. So I'm disappointed in the excuses that are coming
Manel
out from
Cap
Leon
broke
Edwards'
his
camp.
toe in a fight
his
during the fight.
toe in the fight.
And carried on. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying there, y'all. McDane, you was there. And the way, obviously, you came on the live stream during the fight. We'll touch on that a little bit later on. But during the Belal and Leon fight, what was the atmosphere like when everybody was seeing what was transpiring? Could you not believe how dominant Belal was being through the rounds and just shifting gears and just getting better and better until he delivered his own headshot dead when he dumped Leon on his head top. Please talk to me about that.
So the place was buzzing when he started walking out and the fight was about to start happening. And then as the fight progressed, the crowd started getting quieter and quieter and people started leaving come the third and fourth round. And as it was getting towards the fifth round, they kind of knew what was coming and more people were just leaving. Before they even announced who the winner was, people were walking out of the arena. Like the aisles of the stairs were packed of people leaving already. Me being one of them too. You know what I mean? But I said weeks ago too, Belal deserves it. He's got a damn good chance at winning it. And I'm not surprised it went the way that it did. I thought Leon's takedown defense might have been better than what it was. He stayed backed up against the cage quite a lot. And I thought at the same time, my cousin was like, you need to get to the center of the cage. And I was like, well, really, if you know that the takedown threat's going to be there, you don't want to be in the center of the cage. You're going to want to use the cage to get back to your feet. So you're going to want to be at the fucking side. But when he was in the center, he did manage to defend a couple of the takedowns quite well. So I don't know if it was to his detriment in the long term, staying against the cage for so long that he did. But Belal did a really, really good job at keeping the pressure on him, stopping him from circling out, like throwing the shots up high to make him bring his hands up. And as soon as his hands up was in the air, was diving for those takedowns. And like we've seen him spiked him on his head as well. Right, phenomenal performance from Belal. As for the excuses that have came after it, I posted it up on Twitter saying the duality of a champion. You had Tom Aspinall that had woken up at 7 a.m. on the Saturday morning and was expecting to get a little nap in the afternoon. Couldn't get back to sleep because of pre-fight anxiety and running through every single scenario that the fight could have gone through. And then went out there and performed the way that he did. And then you've got Leon saying that he felt quite flat and tired all week.
Advantage over all the fighters that had to travel all the way to Manchester when Tom lives 20 minutes away, just like Yao lives 5 minutes away from the PI. Does he have a little advantage over them? Maybe I should get a refund of my 50 quid. No, I'm just joking. Just carry on.
It's not the way it works, brother.
I'm just joking.
So yeah, the crowd. Don't get me wrong. There was plenty of people there supporting Belal as well. There's Palestinian flags all around the arena. As soon as Belal came out, they all came up. You know what I mean? Like he had plenty of support there as well. But a lot of people and the fans did know what was coming, got up and left. Like, I've always said it, like that Hail Mary kick against Usman was literally that. It was a Hail Mary kick that was like going to happen 1 out of 10 times. You know what I mean? If they fought 10 times, there's no way that was happening again. You know what I mean? We've seen that in the third fight when they had the rematch last year in March. But Leon's takedown defense and his overall game was a lot better in that one. But going up against a man like Belal, his wrestling is completely different to American wrestling. You got that Dagestani wrestling. Yeah, I mean, you got a game plan coming from the GOAT of Khabib. Like, it was going to be a complete different style of takedown, pressure, and just tenacity, to be fair. Like, he just stayed on him. He just didn't let him get a minute to breathe at all. Team Khabib.
Right. You mentioned...
Almighty son. Almighty son. Straight off Arnold Allen's head. Straight off Arnold Allen's head and onto me.
Hey, yeah, what was you trying to pull out there? You were trying to pull out something there, really.
I was running around with my birthday cap, but I was like, that's amateur, let me keep quiet.
Keep it in your pants. This is not that kind of stream. Don't you be pulling nothing out, brother. We don't want this place to go dark.
Seriously. Yeah, we're trying to keep it. We're trying to keep
all of a sudden, a shadow was cast across Dust Up Shakedown.
we're trying to keep the monetization up. But so, yeah, let's leave that one alone. But when you talk about the game plan, and it's very interesting you talk about that, because I really want to take this little segment here to really give Belal his shine and his flowers for achieving what he's achieved, because there was a lot of doubters going into this. There was a lot of people that didn't think he could get it done. Again, even though we've seen the streak that he's been on, the people like even Gilbert Burns getting up there. And you made a very, very good point earlier on in terms of the Hail Mary, that head kick that he delivered to Usman. Because when you look at that fight, Usman was dominating for so long, well, damn near 24 minutes. It was the last minute where Leon really got that Hail Mary together and put it. And it almost got, if he had more time when it was raining them elbows on Belal, who knows what the hell might happen?
Who knows what would happen?
Who knows? Because Leon is that
was the thing as well. When you talk about the fans, every time he actually managed to reverse a position and like turn around, get into his guard or whatever, the crowd started going absolutely mental.
Even took Belal's back.
Yeah, and then it would just fade out. I mean, he actually had a really good round. Was that the second round or the third round?
Yeah,
he was on his back.
Yeah, I think that
it was on his back the entire time. But Belal was just defending for his life at that point. He was like, I ain't getting choked.
So for me, the way Belal, I think watching that fight there with Usman, there's a lot. When I was watching, I said it live. for me, that was almost carbon copy, like a blueprint on how to beat Leon and avoiding the Hail Mary. And it's almost like for like what Belal did in that fight. Just dominated, controlled, grappled, took away the space, took away the offense, took away the striking. So Leon couldn't really get any of that going. And when Belal was dropping the jabs were connecting. We saw in that clip earlier on, Leon's bottom lip just wobbled to one side, and that clip's flying around everywhere. Belal put on a clinic, he put on a masterpiece. But Yao, I want to come to you here on what's next for Belal, and if you have any flowers to give Belal as well as a separate conversation to in this fight and his achievement in winning the welterweight championship.
Look, I think like we've all said, and without rehashing it, no one expected him to win. Well, very few people expected him to win, and I'm sure. Okay, well, Nas did, but I'm definitely sure Nas didn't expect him to win as impressively as he did. And I think that's the one thing that's coming out from this is how dominant he was over a champion who had defeated. And it goes back to what we discussed last week, where we said, is Belal making wild claims about, if I beat Leon, I'm now better than Usman and everyone that Leon's beaten? He beat Leon very convincingly. So, now his wild claims suddenly have some grounding. And, after 1-2 defenses, suddenly he has a real claim because he has beaten someone who was as prolific as Leon Edwards. So to him, kudos, flowers for what is a great win. I hope he can continue. Let's see who's next for him. I know there's quite a few names going around. I think he should get who he wants to fight, and I think the name that he said is he's looking at, or Dana's looking at him and Shafkat. I don't think I want.
Who would you like to see? Thank you. I was just going to ask you, who would you like to see?
Now it's an interesting one because, quite frankly, if Usman's up for it, I mean, let's go. No, I'm just kidding. He's up in middleweight now.
Usman's injured. Usman's injured. Yeah, he's already declared that he's injured at the moment.
He's out. Yeah, but realistically speaking, I think there needs to be a number one contender match between either JDM, Ian Gary, Shafkat, those guys. There needs to be a fight that really says this is the guy that needs to fight Belal next. Because right now, he's sitting pretty. He's come up through the ranks. He hasn't fought the biggest names per se, but he's now at the top. And there's no one who's there that can really stake a claim as such. So I say let's do a number one contender between Shafkat and maybe Ian Gary, or between Shafkat and the one name I'm not liking is JDM. I think he's still 2 fights away from fighting for the title personally. So I'm not happy with
to Leroy, man. You're dead to Leroy.
Sorry, Leroy. No JDM for me. But yeah, so I'm thinking number one contendership. Let's look at Shafkat versus Ian Gary, and then let's get it from there.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's even been some proposals, and Dana did signal this in the press conference when one of the media guys brought it up, because Leon and Ian Gary does have history with the gym situation. There's a little bit of a story there, and maybe something that they can work on to try and build a fight between both of those guys. But then again, we know that Gary and Shafkat been talking and trying to see if they can, get something together. But McDane, with what you've now seen of Leon, obviously what his manager was or his coach was saying there, with the injuries, we know a lot of fighters going into fights not 100%. Sometimes we talked about it, in case of in the case of Francis Ngannou the last time when he had to go and fight Cyril Gane. A lot of fighters go into these situations. They're not 100%, but a back injury against a grappler can, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for Leon here, but I'm trying to maybe see a reasoning to what his coach might have been talking about there. What do you think in other aspects, and in your eyes as well? What do you think? With the landscape of the welterweight looking like now, what should they be doing with it?
And I'm not being funny, Robbie. If you're having a lot of powwow with your coach about it, as he said, and you're talking about having back problems going into a fight that's a heavy grappling fight for a world championship, The smart thing would have been to pull out. Like if that is a real, genuine excuse, you shouldn't have stepped into that octagon. It could have waited a little bit longer. Yeah, like, oh well, you've lost your main event. They'd have moved Tom and Curtis Blades to the main event, and they would have found a new co-main event within a week. We've seen them do it many a times before. It was never something that wouldn't have been able to happen. So, yeah, if he was truly injured, he shouldn't have gone ahead with the fight until he was 100%. Like, why are you risking your title? Just for ego, for pride? What is it? Yeah, I mean, like, so personally, I don't think he should have gone for the fight if that's what it was.
Yeah. In terms of the landscape of the welterweight, like,
who's next? Belal's already said that he's not going to be in an instant rematch. You know what I mean? He said, "Nah, I'm going to make him wait like he made me wait." But at the same time, Dana didn't seem too happy that Belal won. You know what I mean? And we know what it's like when they don't like a champion. They'll make them do whatever it is that they want them to do. They'll do whatever matchup it is, whatever they want to do. So if they can see money in the Leon rematch instantly, then they're going to do it. Or if the landscape isn't permitting, and that's the only fight that's there, then they'll do it. You know what I mean? But Shavkat versus Belal, maybe in Abu Dhabi or somewhere, would be spectacular. Yeah, you know I mean, that would be something that everybody wants to see. I wouldn't mind seeing JDM in there. I know Yao was of a different opinion. Maybe he is 2 fights away, but why not? We've seen the likes of Usyk jump up through multiple rankings to get to a title shot, so why not? Let's see it. You know what I mean? And as for Leon, I think if he's not going to get the instant rematch, then Ian Gary's a good shout for him.
Definitely, there's a bit of a story there. Definitely, I would like something to that effect as well. And depending how long it'll take Usman to heal and get healthy, for him to get back in there, I'd like to see him back in the mix and try and fight for at least number 1 contendership with one of those guys. Probably won't be Leon, but any of the other 3 would do. Ian Gary, Shavkat, you know what I mean? Any of those guys would or JDM. He's even said JDM himself. He'd welcome JDM if that's what falls on his lap. So I just think I'm gonna get to this. I'm glad I just remembered, man. But I just think the way the welterweight looks like now, it's very exciting. It's exciting. It opens a lot of doors to some of the people that the 2 guys haven't seen in Leon, because Leon had a long streak before he got to the title, so he beat a lot of the welterweights on the way up. Usman lapped a lot of these welterweights as well. So for Belal to be champion now opens up a lot of matchups. A lot of matchups is going to be touted, and we're just going to see what's next for Belal. And before we move off the Belal topic, big up Nick Osterberry, man. Nick Osterberry pulled up on the watch along with us. Salute to him. He did a phenomenal job. You know what I mean? Hung in there. That brother knows his MMA. And he made a bet. While he was on the show that if Belal wins the title, he will have a Belal profile picture for 6 months. And
6 months? I thought he was doing it for a month.
Go on his profile. Yeah, he opted to 6 months.
No, I've seen his profile picture. I was like, hats off to Osterberry for actually doing it. Yeah, I thought it was a month.
Can you put it up for the people to see? If you can. It was a month. But I got 6. I drew him out. I drew him out to 6 months, bro, on the show. And they agreed to it. And because he didn't think it was possible. Like, he did not think it was possible. And Leroy designed a fantastic profile picture for him. And McDane is about to show you what Nick Osterberry's profile picture is going to be for the next 6 months on X, aka Twitter.
I never go on this on the PC, like.
Yeah.
Uno momento.
There we go.
Osterberry. There we go. 1 second. Let me just share the screen.
Leroy is dread, you know. Leroy is absolutely dread. he got Belals standing there looking like he's on Tinder, bruv. And then got into off the very
It is about her. It is about her.
No, I don't know where Leroy went to find this. That brother looks like French Montana on Tinder over there. Look at my where's this picture, man?
I'm just getting it. I'm getting it. Do you know what? I'm just going to save the image.
My man out there. Yeah, in the meantime, a bit. Yeah, profile picture of X, yes.
You just filled the dead space there, mate. I'm just putting it in.
Yeah. Nas says you have 6 months Belal profile picture. Yep. Yeah, 6 months, man. It was for a month. I drew him out. I drew him out on the watch along. He didn't think it was gonna happen. You know what I mean? And yeah, he was so confident. Absolutely confident. Captain, yeah, Captain Motion says, yeah, Leroy is crazy. Hey, Leroy is a madman. Like, if you have to deal with Leroy on a daily basis, like we do, trust me, Leroy is a madman. Look at that picture. This is the picture that Leroy found. He had a man with look at that. Just look at that picture. And he made I love Belal on the side of it. That picture there is like something you see on Tinder, bro. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be Nick Osterberry's profile picture for the next 6 months. And he already said he's gonna honor it, and he's a man of his words. So that picture is gonna be hanging around for quite a long time. Say that again.
I bet he's getting all the funky DMs now that he's got this as his profile picture. You know what I mean? I bet he's got a guy sliding in there left, right, and center.
Oh my God. I don't know.
That's straight eye for a queer guy, Belal Muhammad, right there.
Bro, I don't know what Leroy was thinking, but Leroy is bad mind. I'm telling you, man. Leroy is bad mind, bro. You know what I mean? That brother there look like one of the brothers there standing on Love Island, about to get dumped off the fucking island, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? He don't look good, man. He don't look good. He don't look good, but hey,
right.
Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, man, bro. You know what I mean? This was it's gonna be a long 6 months for you, brother. It's gonna be a long 6 months for you. You know what I mean? We're gonna be here reminding you as well, bringing up you know what. All right, let's get to the next story on the docket. This one here absolutely bamboozled me. I ain't never seen something like this before, but let's spin the tape.
As UFC 306 at the Sphere in Las Vegas draws closer, tensions have reached a boiling point for the main event fighters, Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili. Following the conclusion of the main event, Merab has been calling for a street fight with O'Malley's head coach, Tim Welch. The animosity was palpable when the two fighters faced off during a promo shoot.
Bro, I was so pissed when I see the whatever.
Yeah, if you have a problem with him, you can take it up with him. He'll fight you. If that's what you want, he'll do it. He's not.
Why we don't fight?
You said you wanted to fight him. He didn't say he wanted to fight you. I dare you to do it. I think you should. After the fight, you should try to smack his face. You should definitely try that. Yes. That'd be funny. You should try that.
Like, it's about, bro, it's not about who's stronger and who's heavyweight or whatever. I'm talking about street fights.
Yeah, you can street fight him. I'd love to see that. Yeah, you'll die. You want to die? Is that what you're saying? He'll kill you. There's a reason there's weight classes, they're not.
Yeah, man. We just saw what happened, what transpired there between those two. And I don't know what you think, Magden. I'm gonna come to you with this one. We see what happened with Mokaev and Manel Cap. And then they get in the octagon. And then it's just meh. Do all of these squaring up outside the thing when you man are still gonna fight anyway, like especially when you're getting so close to your fight week and stuff like that. Do you think it's needed in the fight game to keep the fight? I don't know, anticipate, to give people anticipation, if you like. Or should we just wait for the fight, and when whatever happens in the cage is what we get? I mean, what's your take on all of that?
It definitely adds to it for the fans. That's why Mohamed Mokaev and Manel Cap, Like, so that build up during fight week, the kickoff at the hotel, all of it was building the hype up. So much so that when we got into the arena, they put out an announcement saying that Manel Kape and Muhammad Mokaev have now been moved back to the prelims. Whether it was a whole ploy from the get-go to get bums on seats from the start and get people into the arena or not, I don't know. But at the same time, people were engaged. People were excited for that fight. But then it played out the way that it did. So I'm all for it. But back it up when you get in there. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, these brothers don't really like each other that much. Merab is putting out content left, right, and center that's surely going to be getting on Sugar Sean's tits. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to start getting annoyed by some of this. Like, gotta be. So when they get in there, I want to see that same energy. I don't want to see what we've seen with Mokaev and Manel Kape. I just don't want to see that because that was shocking. Like, honestly, that was like, it ruined the night. Like, it ruined it. Like, everybody was expecting this absolute war. They were going for each other before it started, and then it started and it just fell flat on its face. You're muted, brother. You're muted, brother.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I was just listening to a message there from Luke Michael. Sorry about that, people. So coming to, I'll come to you with this one, Yao. The thing for me, looking at this, obviously, I did ask the question that is it something that maybe we could start doing away with, and whatever we get in the cage is what we get in the cage. But then McDane's absolutely right. For the fans, the build-up is great because it gives us something to anticipate and watch. And we've seen it work when there's been argy-bargy before the fight. We've seen it work when there's been bad blood before the fight. It happened with Khabib and Conor, and they got straight to it. Like, them man, there was like on site business. We've seen it with Dustin and Conor. Them man, they got to it. That fight went boring. They threw down. We saw it with Usman, Colby Covington. Them man, they talk some bad stuff all the way to the fight. They didn't even shoot one takedown. Them two got right to it. They got in the paint. They got in the pocket. But with this one, obviously, it was disappointing, and we'll get to the Mokaev situation and Manel Kape and what Dana said in the press conference in Mokaev. But I want to get your perspective on, you know, the whole build up and the craziness that goes before it. You know what I mean? Is this something that we should really be keeping hold of?
I think I want to shout out to UFC304 for entertaining back moments. Now, I'm not sure if you saw the clip of when Belal Muhammad and Leon Edwards had an engagement in an elevator, and Tom Aspinall was there, and he's like, "Oh, what's all the drama?" And in that clip, we just saw Alexa Grasso in the back being shocked by the engagement by Merab and Sean O'Malley. Now, with regards to big fight build-ups, let's just say that's literally what the wrestling industry is made of. If we look at WWE, it's literally made of acting before the fight, which is never really that great because we know exactly what's going to happen in the wrestling. So I think, yeah, build-ups are key to what they're trying to put out as a product. They're not just putting out great fighters, otherwise you're watching one championship. This is an entertainment and a martial arts business, so they do need the entertainment factor. So I think it was great, but like McDane said, at least when you get to the cage, back it up. Let's have a real fight. So I'm not too sure why Kape and Mokaev didn't really bring it to the octagon. I don't really know. I mean, it was kind of strange that they ended up in that little dance that they did. But then again, with regards to Kape, I mean, he broke his toe in the first round, so maybe that's what put him on the back foot. But Mokaev, maybe he was just proving a point to say, "Oh, you think I'm a boring fighter? Let me be boring in my last fight since you're cutting me anyway. Let me not take a chance. I'm gonna get injured." So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's a nice segue to the Mokaev topic that I wanted to get you guys' take about, because we saw in the press conference with Dana White, after him being in a bad mood with the card and the way the card played out, and he's paid more bonuses for how the card played. Dana White was in a bad mood, and I thought, oh, he found a perfect scapegoat to take it out on, since if you're gonna give my staff, my security guys, so much trouble before the fight, all the hotels that are paid for you guys, you are gonna give all these guys trouble when it comes to delivering the product in the cage, and you don't want to do it, I'm gonna fire you. He fired Mokaev right there on the spot in the press conference, telling him he can go to PFL and these other places. Good luck to him. They're gonna have a 7-0. Great fighter. McDane, when you're listening to that, and obviously we heard what Mokaev said in the center of the octagon after he won, that I wanted to go for the title, and would everybody like to see him, go for a run on the title, not knowing, unbeknownst to him, that he's going to be getting fired. Now, do you think, like, what they were saying is why he got fired? Because there's been rumors. I don't know if you heard some of the rumors that was negotiating some deals with PFL is why he got fired, or his style was boring is why he got fired. What do you make of all of that stuff and why he got fired?
Until we get like
just for his fighting style.
Until we get legit reasons. Like, so the first thing I seen is his fighting style, and then I put a post up on Twitter just before I left. Like, so Finish got away from the arena, seen that he'd been dropped or not re-signed, which is essentially cut anyway, because who's not re-signing somebody that's on a 7-fight win streak within the promotion? You know what I mean, with 4 finishes in those 7 fights. You know what I mean, like, he had more than 50% of his fights were finishes. So like the boring point never made sense to me, especially then when you then compare it to other grapplers. Like, and I'm not comparing fighters mirror for mirror, but you then look at Islam, you look at Khabib, you look at Belal. Belal literally just won a world title fight with a similar style of grappling. You know what I mean? Pressure and take him down, pressure and take him down, pressure and take him down if you can get the submission. With not much striking in there from the likes of Belal. But again, I'm not going into it that deep, just from a sole base of looking at it from a grappling perspective. The boring fight style never made sense to me, because it's not boring to everybody. Yeah, it's not as entertaining as a knockout, but it ain't boring to everybody if you enjoy the grappling aspect like myself. I know Leroy does. I know you do. I know a few people that enjoy the grappling aspect of the fights. You know what I mean? So that piece was a bit mad. But then when I got home, 5 hours later or something, and I looked at the presser, and then I seen Dana saying, obviously, like, he's causing so much trouble. And then I've seen things saying he's not easy to work with behind the scenes. I know he got kicked out of the hotel, like you just mentioned. They paid for all of that, and then he's getting kicked out because he's gone up and sucker punched Manel Cap. Manel Cap headbutted him at the PI in America, but that doesn't seem to have any kind of influence. They've then seen that Nate Maness has also been cut, saying that they don't like his fighting style. Like, so what is going on here? Are they trying to sweep away the flyweight division? Are they just trying to put it under the rug and slowly but surely cut fighters left, right, and center? They're blaming it on fighting styles. They're blaming it on behaviors and attitude. They're blaming it on all sorts of things. But until somebody comes out and gives you a clear-cut decision of what it is, I don't think any of us really know what's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard the statement from Mokaev Yao, and he's standing on the fact that it's definitely his fighting style that UFC is firing him on. Obviously, they made it clear that the matchmakers don't like him. Yeah, you was going to say something.
I missed the point that I was going to make as well about the PFL. So if he was in negotiations with the PFL, so apparently another thing that I heard was that he went and got a number from the PFL, so then he could use it as leverage in his contract negotiations with the UFC. If he was under contract with the UFC and went into negotiations with PFL, he would have been a breach of his contract, and there would be a major lawsuit happening right now. It wouldn't just be you getting cut or you're not getting re-signed, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, he's been cut.
Yeah,
he would be in a lawsuit.
And like what I was, what I was alluding to when I was just asking Yao just now as well. He's denied doing anything with PFL. Like, PFL don't even have a flyweight division over
exactly
there. So why would he go and negotiate anything with them as a number to bring back to the UFC? He said, all I want is to compete in the UFC. It's not even about like what he's getting paid. This is what he said. You know what I mean? So obviously he could be saying something to the guys and the matchmakers and the hunters and all the other guys that put the fights together. But then it could be telling us something different. But yeah, from your perspective, I mean, PFL don't have a flyweight division. So, how is he going to go and compete at PFL? And somebody did put big up Naz. I think it was Naz that put in the chat. Was it Naz or you, Magdalene, that who wants to see Demetrius Johnson versus Mokaev in the one championship?
That was Naz.
That was Naz. Yeah. So that's also a tiny little question to put out there in case maybe a PFL, Bellator, none of these guys pick him up. You know what I mean? So,
DJ hasn't fought in a couple of years now, though. It's been a while, like since we've seen DJ in there.
He's been doing
So-
other martial arts.
So,
So
what
for
do
me,
you-
I think I want to go with McDane's conspiracy of cutting the flyweight division because we mentioned him earlier, Steve Erceg. Now, why did Erceg get the last title shot? He's ranked number 10. You don't often have a number 10 fighting for the title. Now, if you look at the flyweight division, it's a mess. I think the top 5 are like 0-2. You got people who are like it doesn't really make sense as a division right now. So it could be possible that they are trying to do away or do something with the flyweight division because it might not be as competitive. We all do find it entertaining, but I don't know. Would he have been negotiating? I doubt it. Is it because of a boring style? It sounds silly, honestly. And knowing big business, it's usually something deeper than just a boring fighting style. And it's something that we're not quite hearing just yet, but in a few years there'll be another, and I'm going to help you with the segue, another antitrust case against the UFC regarding things like this, where like as a fighter, did you have my best interest at heart when XYZ? So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, it's a weird situation that Mokaev found himself in. He found himself in a right pickle. Like he did not see the. I guarantee you, he didn't see this coming. Whatever the case was, he didn't see this coming. He just wanted to do something crazy to get hype, look exciting, make an exciting build up, but the fight has to follow through with it. You know what I mean? And he found himself.
He did go for a flying knee, to be fair to him. Like, he did try and spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, but
he tried to pull the man's pants down, bro. He tried to pull the man's pants down.
Even that. You know what? That might have been a good reason
supposed to take
to
a
fire him. To fire him
Yeah,
on the bloody spot,
Yeah.
bro. And he got Beltran mad. Beltran was seething, bro.
Fuming, man. And he wasn't
Beltran
listening
was
to him
fuming.
at all. Like,
Yeah, for real. You had to pull him back and say, "You listen to me when I'm talking to you." Beltran was absolutely livid with that. So, crazy nights, and maybe the night ain't as boring as we thought. Because look, we saw. I mean, you saw it, McDane. Maybe y'all didn't see it live, but you saw it, McDane. Molly took them things there. She took them things there. The meatballs.
Bro,
But
bro.
I don't know if she had any meatballs.
You heard
there ain't gonna be no more meatballs,
mate,
bro.
You heard that crack around the arena. I am not joking. When that knee landed, the whole arena went, ooh,
Bro,
like
whatever
every
meatballs
dude,
she had
every
done,
dude
bro.
in that place grabbed their shit. You know what I mean? Every guy in there was like, oh,
I'm
like
grabbing my shit right now.
you heard it, bro. Like you heard it connect, and it was just like, shit. Like that was a knee and a half, and she took some mean body shots as well. And see, for her to keep fighting too, see when she got, I thought, well, she hit her in the body. I thought it was a liver shot, and I thought a body shutting down. She's gonna go down, and that's it. But to keep fighting and keep going against Bruno Brazil, who I've always backed as well up until this point. I don't know why I went against my usual picks, but Bruno Brazil's legit, man. Like, bro, that knee was nasty.
Yeah, man. Another fight that was on the card before we move on to the last topic was your boy Arnold Allen performed in front of you, put in a clinic, back in the win column. How did that make you feel, first of all? And if there was any interaction, what was that like for you?
Bro, like, see how nervous. You know when you're sitting at home and you're watching your favorite fighter on TV and you are nervous? See, sitting watching that man live, like the second he was walking out, my palms were sweaty, my knees were going. I was sitting with my legs moving constantly. I was like biting my nails and I'm weaning for. I watched that fight intently. I didn't move an inch. You know what I mean? Like, and I wasn't jumping up and screaming. I wasn't like, yes. I was locked in on that fight. And mate, what a performance! You know what I mean? Like he caught like somebody who said before. I think it might have been Captain Motion or somebody else. It might have been Ozzy. Talking about Belal moving forward, closing that range, not allowing Leon to get off his kicks. That's exactly what Arnold had to do against Giga. He didn't want to take that Giga kick, you know what I mean? And he did land one into the side of him as well. He felt it. But mate, he done really well at keeping the pressure, really well at like shutting him down and stopping him from able to get them kicks off. He even landed a couple of kicks himself. That teep kick right up the middle, straight to the face, son, like that was phenomenal. So yeah, like a very, very good fight. Nice, high paced, and what a win for my boy, man. Yeah, I mean, I was buzzing for him. I was so happy for him, like.
Yeah, man. And if there's one boy that I'm happy, super happy for, my boy from my neck of the woods, Bukauskas, Modestas Bukauskas, Big Muddy, got his first takedown. He actually got two. He got two takedowns in that fight.
He came through some adversity too. Who's throwing a question mark kick that close to a man? You know what I mean? And landing it so flush.
Bro, and the beginning of that third round from Big Muddy. Shout out to Big Muddy, bro. We're going to be bringing him on the channel very, very soon, people. Just waiting for him, you know what I mean? Just get the cobwebs out of the way. Let him enjoy the break that he just got, and then we're going to pull him up on the show, man. But bro, he went through some adversity in that third round. That brother practically he came out fighting in the third round, and for Big Muddy to land his first UFC submission, I said to myself, "Oh, you can tell Tom Aspinall has been rubbing up on this brother." But like, oh my God, you can see he's been training in that gym. You can see he's been working with them man there, and yeah, he looks so comfortable pulling that together. Even though DC said on commentary, you wouldn't have heard it live because you would have been in the crowd, but DC was saying that head in hand triangle was there 4 times and he didn't take it. It was right there. It was open. Muddy didn't take it. It was up. DC was almost clowning him, but eventually Muddy cinched it in, got the head in hand triangle. It was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, what did you think of it?
I thought it was a great win. I think, like you're saying, his first submission win, DC was like, listen, I don't know why he's not taking it. I don't know why he's not taking it. There it is again. I mean, it's still there. I mean, and then he finally cinched it in. A great win for him. And honestly, seeing him in the octagon next to DC, he is a big boy. He is a really, really big boy. And you don't really get that when you don't get that sort of contrast between his size and DC. And imagine him against John Jones at some point in time. That would be an interesting fight, just in terms of the size, just seeing John Jones going against that size. But yeah, it was a great win for him. Happy for Modestas. Looking forward to seeing him again in the octagon.
Yeah,
I was speaking to Pracknell in the hotel a little bit earlier in the day before the event as well, and that dude was locked in, man. He was ready for it. Yeah, I mean, he was excited for the fight. He had his game plan on which way he was going to go about it. And to be fair, like you say, Muddy is a big guy. So when I got my picture with Muddy, I was like, bro, well, you're actually pretty goddamn tall, son. I was like, holy shit. And then when I was speaking to I got my picture with Pracknell too. He's not much taller than me. I mean, I was 6'1", and I thought this dude isn't as big as what I thought he was going to be. And it definitely wasn't as big as what Muddy was anyway. But he's thick. Yeah, you know I mean, like he's a big boy himself. Like even though he's not very tall, he's still big. Like, mate, what a fight.
What a fight, man. What a fight. And the last fight that I want to talk about here on the card. No, maybe second to the last fight, because I'll give you a chance to talk about your boy as well in Tom Aspinall that won you £50 out of my pocket on this fight.
And an apology.
But no, you got your apology. There ain't no more apologies, bro. Go back and rewind at the beginning of the show and you'll get that apology over there.
I'm gonna clip it. Don't you worry, son.
But I want to talk about Paddy the Baddie. You saw the clip. My man even made me explain myself. Cage Scribe, where are you? Where are you? Come back and play, Cage Scribe. Yeah,
that man was so sure of himself. It was unreal in that clip.
You saw the clip, right? You saw that clip in it, right? But the performance that Paddy put on there, and for me, it's not even the actual submission itself. Is the transitioning of 3 submission moves to get to that one, and that would have gone over a lot of people's heads. People that don't really know what they're watching, that don't really see them things, there would miss out on those things. I caught it live, and I'm like, rah. I've only seen maybe 2 or 3 fighters really do that. DJ was one of them. Khabib did it to Justin when it was gonna stop his arm, and remember his parents were there, and he just around. You know what I mean? I'm putting him in a triangle.
I had Luke Riley sitting in the front and seat in the seat in front of me, and some of Paddy's team or just some of his friends or whatever were in the same row. But mate, these boys were going off. As soon as Paddy jumped that gilly, he was like, Luke bounced out of his seat. He's screaming, "It's in!" And then when he transitioned to the triangle, he's like, "That's in!" He's like, "He's got it! It's in! It's tight!" And he was going like all of them were going sick, bro. And he's like screaming for the ref to stop it. And then he moved to the armbar, and then he got the mate, like Luke Riley. I missed the trick not filming Luke Riley's reaction to that win, like because that would have took off on Twitter, on Instagram, and
that would
everything.
have been
Like,
gold.
but,
That would have
mate,
been absolute gold.
The boy lost his shit.
I mean, what did you make of Paddy's performance? Because I made a comment, and I said this was my only worry with Paddy, fighting a striker that doesn't, telegraph. You know what I mean? Someone like Bobby that doesn't telegraph his shots. You don't know which arm is going to use. The arms are always down by his side. And for an opponent that likes to hang his chin in the air and still brags till today that Scousers don't get knocked out. I ain't seen him get knocked out yet. And he's gone up against a very, very good striker, Bobby Green. We've seen what Bobby Green did to a lot of people in the division, and he's got submission on his own as well. But what have you made of Paddy's win here? Because for me, this is a monumental win for Paddy. Fighting in front of the home crowd as well. I think that's a big, big advantage for him.
I think it is a monumental win, yes. But for me, the question is really, what do I make of Bobby Green's performance? Why was he shooting against the guy that you've just described? Why was he shooting?
It was fighting at 3 a.m. in the UK.
Excuse
goes both ways, right?
And that for me is the question. I would have liked to have seen him actually test Paddy. But I mean, there was no test. The fight was over before there was any test, any damage, anything had happened. Whereas we were looking forward to this fight because Bobby Green's a good striker. So for me, what happened with his performance? Why are you shooting in the first 30 seconds of a fight against a BJJ specialist? It didn't make any sense. But well done to Paddy.
He's
He said,
reckless.
"Oh, is this what you're gonna give me? Haha, I'm gonna jump the gilly. Okay, there we go, submission." So look, well done to Paddy, because not everybody would be able to just take the submission if it's given to you like that. So other fighters might fumble it and then it's still a fight. So definitely kudos to him for actually finishing the fight at that moment. But Bobby, come on, bro. I mean, come on, bro. But good finish from Paddy nonetheless.
Yeah, but I mean, look, they were still dry, man. Like only a few seconds into the first round for him to shoot that way. I think Paddy's striking might have been bothering him to make him shoot like that, because I can't work out what else could have made him do that other than Paddy. Because Paddy was chewing up his legs, and it was getting to a lot of the shots. Them leg kicks, them calf kicks. It was getting to a lot of it before Bobby could even do anything. And I think that frustrated Bobby into shooting. It was almost like a beautiful game plan from Paddy's point of view. But if anybody would have, if you had to pick who would have been frustrated from a striking perspective, you'd definitely say it would be Paddy shooting first. But it was the other way around, almost like a gift. And indeed, Dana White gave him the gift and gave him 200 grand. He doubled it.
Mate.
Yeah, 200. He doubled it, bro. He doubled the bonus.
I think
after the bonus was doubled, he doubled it again. That's crazy. Yes,
I think that was probably one of the better performances, even from the striking perspective for Paddy. He was calm, he was cool, he was collected. You know what I mean? He waited. Like he knew that you'd have to go for a counter striking somebody like King Green. And like you say, them leg kicks, man, those leg kicks, that first one that landed just about took him off his feet. You know what I mean? It was heavy.
Yeah.
And then he kept going in with him. And eventually he made him shoot. Like he literally made him shoot. And they said weeks before, I think.
That's what I saw. Anyways. I think he made him shoot.
King's energy changed. Like when you seen him through the week, he was kind of like all respectful. And then all of a sudden it flipped and he just started going at him and he started getting angry and started giving him the fingers and coming against the crowd, where before he was like, oh, I'm a humble guy. I'm here for Manchester. I'm here to put on a show and all the rest of it. I'm not sure if it was his mental warfare trick that failed him I'm not sure if it was the leg kicks or what, but he made a mistake. And in the first round, when you're dry against a Brazilian black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, like you can't be doing that stuff. Like I've always said it, like as much as like his striking's not being there 100%, that some people like to believe, and he does leave his chin up in the air, he's legit on the ground. Like you just don't want to go down there with him at all.
100%.
And his walkout, bro, like, see, because it had been so flat with 7 decisions, and then Paddy's tune came on and he come walking out. Everybody, and I mean, like, you've seen the man get hate across Twitter, across all social platforms, and he kind of dropped off there, like, for a little bit. 25,000 people stood up out of their seats for this man walking out. And the place was going off, son. And I mean off. Like the energy went from 0 to 1,000 in like a split second, and it was just, mate. And then where's your head at and all the rest of it mixed in, bro? Insane. Honestly, him and Tom Aspinall, 2 of the best walkouts I've ever seen in my life.
100%. I mean, Paddy hypes up the crowd, man. You know what I mean? Every time he fights on home soil, the crowd's behind him. It don't matter where he goes. You know, as far as him fighting over here in the UK, he gets the crowd behind him. And you just spoke of Tom Aspinall here. So what I'm gonna do here is just give you the floor to just give Aspinall his flowers on the performance, the way he handled it, the fight week, and his call out. And a lot of people has been saying his call outs are too respectful. And what your take, should Tom Aspinall start being disrespectful? That's from both of you as well. But Magdalene, you go.
Hello, John. That was absolutely incredible. I started laughing in my seat, and a lot of other people were laughing too. Who do you want? Hello, John. Yeah, I mean, it was just like the most English way you could have made a call out. He is, mate. He is. But again, he's all about respect. It's not about that.
Man, he's a nice guy, isn't he? He's a nice guy.
It was the call out that was needed done. I don't think he has to pretend to be somebody he's not, and his fight time and his fights and his skills and his performance speak for himself. Yeah, I mean, like. Based on the performance, giving me his flowers, he went out there, he got it done super, super quick. But he even said himself, and I said it as soon as it finished, I said that was a bit sloppy. Yeah, I mean, he took some shots in there. Some moments of it felt a little bit rushed. But once Curtis went down, man, he wasn't letting him get back up. Some people, including yourself, wanted to cry early stoppage. Whether it was an early stoppage or not, I don't believe it was. The dude took 10.
Never did I go back and watch it live. Never did I. I said that was not an early stoppage.
Mate, like, he took so many unanswered strikes. He ended up going from being on his knees to flat on his belly. Like, he wasn't getting back up at all. And if anything, a rear naked choke was coming, or something. Yeah, I mean, like, or just more shots that he just wasn't going to answer. He wasn't trying to turtle. He wasn't trying to get to his knees. He wasn't trying to wrap an arm. He wasn't doing anything to try and escape that. Yeah, I mean, like, so he was just going to take more and more damage. So, like I say, done it within a minute after getting injured, and a minute and 15. Hats off to Tom Aspinall, man. Like, he is going to go down as the greatest heavyweight in history. I'm telling you that right now. I can't see anybody, even Almeida. I can't see anybody right now that beats him. He just seems to have this death touch too. When he lands, you're going down. You're going down, fight's over. Yeah, I mean, he's so fast. He's relentless. Unbelievable. But yeah, his call out was what it needed to be. I don't think it needs to be any more than that. John just needs to man up and step into the cage with him now. Nobody wants this Stipe fight at all.
Now you say John just needs to man up. Yow. John Jones. You're a big fan of John Jones. I know John Jones is your friend.
You got a John Jones glove, yeah?
John Jones, he's like John Jones's lawyer, this guy. Trust me. Like, he's like John Jones's lawyer. Trust me. So, John is not one of these guys that you can kill with kindness, as we see Tom Aspinall's trying to do here. You know, you can't kill John with kindness. John's got different kind of demons that kindness, not even kindness, can touch it, right? In your opinion, do you feel that if Tom really wants to get Jones's attention, like real attention, he needs to start getting mad disrespectful? He's saying that when he wanted to fight Jones, these are the things he had to do. You know, Charles Sonnen saying it, like, Well, even Henry Cejudo that trains John Jones is John Jones's coach. Even he's saying it. Like, bro, you got move from all that nice. We know what Triple C is all about. He's a mad disrespectful brother. You know what I mean? So he said, bro, you want this man to really take note. All right, your performance are doing in the cage, but how are we gonna sell the fight with all the niceness? You know what I mean? Like how is John Jones gonna make that big money? That is you need to get disrespectful, bro. That's what them man they're saying. So what's your take on it?
That fight brings big money anyway. Sorry, Al, go on.
Yeah, look, on this one, I have to agree with Jourdain. Once you move away from being yourself as a fighter, that's when you start losing. Tom's gotten to where he is, and quite frankly, like you said at the top of the show, you consider him the heavyweight champion because right now, at this point, quite frankly, he is. So if he's gotten there without having to have those disrespectful call outs, etc., he literally talks with his fists. If we look at what he did to Pavlovich, which honestly, the Pavlovich fight is the one where I was like, okay, you know what? Because to beat Sergey Pavlovich the way he did, wow. So for
Impressive.
me, Hello John is absolutely perfect. It's quintessentially British. He is a British champion who is calling out the current heavyweight champion to say, let's fight in the most English way. And I think for me, I want to see that fight. We all already want to see that fight. That fight has to happen because he's the interim champion. There's no point in getting disrespectful right now. If Jones continues to be injured and has to vacate, so what? If Jones loses to Stipe, whatever, like it literally doesn't matter. There's no need for him to try and rush the next 6 to 8 months and be someone he's not. I say keep trucking on as you are, and when the fight happens, which it will very soon, with either him with Jones or someone else, he will be fighting for the heavyweight championship very, very soon. So yeah, stick to it. Hello, John. We're happy.
And Dana said he's going to be the backup for the Stipe Jones fight anyway, so I'm just hoping Stipe like pulls his back or you know what I mean, like
has a niggle in his back.
Yeah, stubs his toe or something. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, a lot of people want to see that fight. Look, I want to see that fight for multiple reasons. And it's I just want to see Jones tested for the first time in the heavyweight by a true heavyweight, right? And I'm not saying Sirigan isn't a true heavyweight, but Sirigan was a fanboy heavyweight. There's a difference. Tom wants that belt so bad. He wants to hurt John Jones for it. He wants to beat him as well while there's no losses on his name. He wants to be the first guy to actually do it. There's a lot at stake for Tom when you actually look at it. Yeah, all right. Eventually, maybe something happens and there's a backup and he ends up fighting Stipe. It's still going to be as much buzz. It's the Jones fight that everybody wants, man. And I think at this point, for Jones, it really just needs to get it together now and give everybody what they want, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? Be done with that Stipe fight. This is the fight that I want to actually fight this young buck and see what he's really about. Let's see if the hype is actually true. You know what I mean? Jones, you come and dispel it for us as the GOAT, as the number one pound for pound that Dana claims that you are. You know what I mean? Come out and prove, you know what I mean? Prove it to everyone. He would say he has nothing to prove because he's done it all his career, but you ain't fought this guy yet. You haven't fought Tom Aspinall. And this Tom Aspinall here, this version of Tom Aspinall here, the one that RC put Volkov away, don't put Blades away, don't put Pavlovich away, he's putting everybody away. This brother is something else. He's a phenom. And I personally think they get in there tomorrow. He beats John Jones. That I know. Woman money is going on there. I think he beats John Jones.
Mate, Tom even came out with a 4-man tournament. It said him, Pereira, John, Stipe. 2 of them fight, and then the winners fight on the same night. That would be fireworks, mate. That would be insane.
Right? You know, look at that one there, and that's another one to look at. And bro, I'm praying that, you know, his team and all his people they come together, man, and try and push this fight in the right way, where we see Tom and Jones compete, because I don't want it till it's too late and another extra year adds on John Jones's age, and then you know what I mean, and then they say, oh yeah, you only got Jones because he's getting old. You know all the excuses that's going to come out with that type of win. You know what I'm trying to say? So like, I won that fight as soon as possible. I don't know about you guys, but like, I won that fight yesterday. Seriously. Yeah, and look, we've talked about it for so long. It's about time that we see that fight. And Tom has actually kept all his obligations. I did say at the time, I've never seen any interim champion defending his title.
Yeah.
You should be unifying the title, not defending it. You know what I'm trying to
Tom,
say? So,
Tom just wants to be fighting. He just wants to stay active. You know what I mean? But like, the thing is, when you get up to that like upper echelon of a division, there isn't that many fights for you. Other people are wrapped up in fights. There's things playing out in the division. You're sitting as an interim champ. Obviously, the next person he should be fighting is John Jones to unify it. But then he's wanting to stay active. We're waiting on. There's just so much going on, and he just can't get. He just wants to be active. He just can't get a fight.
okay, lastly, let's hit this last video that Leroy has put together for us, and we're going to talk about this antitrust story. Let's hit it.
Back in March, the UFC's parent company, TKO, agreed to a $335 million payout to settle a pair of antitrust lawsuits representing more than 1,200 fighters. The plaintiffs had initially sought approximately $1.6 billion. Judge Bolwell took several issues with the proposed settlement: the gap between the amount agreed upon in the settlement and what the fighters had initially sought, and the issue with the settlement when looking at the attentions of the different lawsuits. One lawsuit was focused on fighter compensation, and the other was on more favorable contracts for fighters moving forward. These cases are expected to go back on trial on the 28th of October this year.
Okay, from what I gather there, these fans were looking for way more money on the settlement, and they got so much. And now the judges said, actually, the gap between what they're looking for and what they got is robbery. So we're going to dash that, and we're going to make a new hearing for maybe a more favorable settlement. That's kind of what I got from it. Do you want to break it down, Magdane, and you know, let us see from your perspective what you think.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I mean, like they seem to be, yeah, here's your offer. No, we're not happy with that, so we're not going to let them accept it, even if they were going to accept it. And they're just taking it to another case, and they're going to open it up again, and they will come back with a counter offer. Yeah, I mean, they ain't going to want this to go to trial. They ain't want to go for all of the hassle and all of the trials and tribulations of it. They're going to want to just get it paid off, get it done and dusted, because it's only going to open up more and more cases going forward if this continues to get stretched out as much as it is. And that was the same takeaway for me as well. As they want something to be fair, and if they get this payout and everybody's happy, job's done.
1.6 billion for so many fights. I think 100 and something fighters, like they mentioned earlier on. 1.6 billion is the settlement that they're looking for. Getting 335 million is kind of like, it's still a lot of money to people like us, but for them and the sacrifice that they've made, you know, the injuries that they've had, and maybe some of the wrongdoings that they've had to go through. For example, moving a whole venue for John Jones at the cost of the other fighters, but put John Jones in first class, and he ain't got to pay. But Corey Anderson did come out and say, yeah, we had to pay. And my wife was pregnant, and she was on the flight with me, and I had to pay for her flight as well. And UFC did not dip in their pocket to help none of these guys.
No wonder these UFC tickets are getting so expensive when they've got to pay this big old bill coming. Like,
yeah, bro, the UFC Noche, we've seen it, 3,000 to 12,000 for seats. But
crazy.
What do you make of this antitrust situation? And do you think they will get nearer that 1.6 billion, or maybe they'll meet in the middle somewhere around 700 million? What do you think?
So, from a slightly different angle, I just want to tag on to what Jordan just said in terms of the Noche tickets. My question is really, the lawsuit goes through, but then what does that do to our favorite promotion, to the most profitable promotion, to the promotion that's the gold standard? It's business at the end of the day. And when you take that much cash out, it does impact. We're complaining about them going to the apex and having fights at the apex. Well, they might be fully then at the apex because now all the budget that they would have used for development in other areas is gone. The point I'm making is yes, if they've done something wrong, antitrust laws should kick in. Whatever money needs to be paid needs to be paid. But we do still need to be cognizant of the fact that it is a business. And if you gouge it in a certain way, it could impact what the promotion has planned. However, they do have the backing now of TKO Group, which is maybe why the judge is saying, listen, I think you guys can afford it because we know who the big brother is, which would be a very sour pill to swallow as a new owner of the UFC to come in, and then an antitrust lawsuit that's been coming for years and years and years suddenly hits your balance sheet. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how high they get and what impact this really has overall in terms of how the UFC can operate going forward.
UFC
Yeah,
is
man.
currently valued at 11.3 billion.
So they can afford
Yeah,
it.
that's 12. Yeah, but that's still if you're looking at 1.7 billion, that's almost 12%. 12% margin is a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you look at how
No, like
businesses
a
operate,
billion is still a billion. You know what I
eh,
mean? No, 100%. You're losing
yeah,
10% of your profits in one chunk in one go. That is still
yes, and
unheard
that's my
of and
point
not
is
wanted.
the fact is that that will have some sort of impact. Whether or not they're an 11 billion, it's still 10, 12% of revenue gone just like that.
Yeah, the what the my take is none of these guys will miss that 1 billion, man. I'm telling you, man. These guys, they do things in billionaires' playground when they go to Riyadh, when they go to all this Saudi Arabia. The amount of connections that they have, they can get that billion back as an investment just like that if they really wanted to. You know, I'm trying to say, I personally don't think they will miss it. If they wanted it back as some kind of investment or some kind of getting some kind of equity or whatever it is, that can be very, very easily.
Especially when you consider the ESPN deal's almost up and where they're
ESPN
going to
deal,
move into.
like there's so
Are
much
they going to start
avenues for
looking at
UFC.
Netflix and what they're going to offer them? And yeah, I mean, like,
There you go. There's so many avenues for them to make that money back, like really, really quick. But I'm thinking more from the perspective of the fighters, what they've sacrificed, the things that they've gone through, and some of the things that maybe they could have been compensated for. And
Ozzy makes a good point there. It probably won't come out in a chunk. It probably would be in installments over the years.
Yeah. Look, it's definitely going to look. None of these guys want to pay out that kind of money, like straight out. So they're probably going to do it like that lottery ticket that they sell. You win 10 grand every month for 30 years. It could be one of those. You know what I mean? So you never know. It could just be installments like that. And you're absolutely right. But for me, I just think the fighters they deserve a lot more for the things that the things that they put their body through just for our entertainment. And if they're not being dealt with right, and Ngannou did come out that they ain't got no health
So
cover.
then, wouldn't it be better to put it into some form of health program? The point I'm trying to make is, and with all the solutions you've mentioned, that's not really how money works. It's a bit different. But if you put it into something that can actually help them, you know what I mean? Like setting up proper health programs.
Go for the root cause rather than putting out the fire.
Exactly. Then it makes sense. But to just dish out the money, for me, it's just like, okay, I hear that these guys have a claim, they have a valid claim, but the solution is like, okay, then they'll blow it all in 3 years and be back to square one because that's usually what happens when you give out
Bro,
lump sums.
I would say this to you now. This is only because Francis Ngannou put it out, and that's what I was alluding to earlier on. He tried to put it when he was renegotiating his contract. He said the fighters' health care, all of the fighters, not just his own, all of the fighters' health care was part of his demand as part of his contract or negotiating leverage at the time. And UFC disagreed with him. And they didn't. He said that was one of the reasons why he parted ways and vacated the title, because he really, really, really wanted that health program, because obviously they made him defend with the injury, and didn't really have the healthcare. I think the one that covers them is stuff that happens during the fight, not on the training, not I mean, not all the work that they put in up until they get into the cage. So I think that's what Francis actually wanted to get covered, to make sure that all the fighters actually have healthcare cover with the UFC, and UFC said no. So maybe, like you said, it's something that they have to revisit now. And Francis could have been right the whole time. And now, if they do it, then you gotta go back and give Mr. Francis Ngannou a little feather in the cap for at least bringing it to the forefront and fighting for that purpose. So yeah, man, shout out to all the guys that are still waiting on their payout. Hopefully the thing don't take too long, and they start seeing some money from it.
Me though, I got my payout.
Yeah, not all of us behave like Dana and the UFC does, man. You know what I mean? We'll actually put the money out there, we pay out real quick, man. You get me? Shout out to everybody that stayed with us. Big up to every single one of you. You guys have been phenomenal. If you're watching live, if you're watching playback, please make sure you're smashing that like button. You're following the Rambling Dad. You're following Head Kick Pod. Kick him in the head.
Kick him in the head.
Make sure
That's right.
you're showing all of them love. And please, Friday, we're going to be back making our predictions. We've got a big card coming up, man. I've not been able to gloat this week for my dog of the week. I've not been able to do none of that. I've left my guy for that today, but Friday is going to be my day for gloating on some prediction thing. You know what I mean? So, people, make sure you stay tuned. Come and join us on the Fight Week show on Friday night, where we're going to be doing the prediction show there, and we got more interviews. We got more strips coming up for you. And make sure you log in on Rambling That Podcast. I'm sure he's got plenty of content on his social and on his channel to upload. Make sure
if you're watching on Twitter, get on over to YouTube, people. If you're watching on Twitter, we always got loads of people watching on Twitter where you can really help us and really support us. Is coming over onto YouTube, helping us out with the watch hours, helping us out with the subs, and just make an absolute difference to the channel. We're putting this content out there. We hope you like it. So yeah, coming over. Make sure you're following the Fight Week show. Kick him in the head, and myself, the Rambling Dad podcast.
Yeah, man. And the people, up onto the next video. Hasta la vista. We're out. Salute. Big love.
Peace.
The Fight Week show.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to